Hello friends, good morning, happy Monday. Just a little motivation Monday before I head into the chiropractor. I heard something this weekend that I thought was clever and it made a point that spoke to my heart, and I thought I would share it with you. Oftentimes we go on a health journey, a fitness journey, a food journey, a mindset journey, and we make a commitment to ourselves to follow the protocol. So we sign up for 2B Mindset, we say we're gonna watch the videos, we're gonna follow the protocol, and we're gonna do things as planned. And then somewhere along the way, we poop out on our commitment. We decide to, maybe I'm gonna allow myself this pleasure or this treat, or I'm gonna fall off the wagon because I'm on vacation and I know I'll get back on, or fill in the blank. And I heard an analogy this weekend that, like I said, really hit it home for me. So when it comes to commitments and how we honor those commitments to ourselves, for those of you who are married, give me a little thumbs up. I want to see if you're married in this group. And if you're not, maybe you've been in a long-term relationship or some sort of committed relationship. But we're going to talk about marriage for a second, because I don't think any of you would, on your wedding day, make a vow to your husband, or I don't think we have any dudes in here, but a vow, a commitment to your spouse, and be like, I promise to love you and forsake all others, except on Tuesday. On Tuesdays, I'm gonna have a little kissy with some other dude. Or maybe I'm just gonna lick this other guy, right? Like, this is so silly and ludicrous, right? We don't say, I'm gonna commit, I'm gonna be all in on this marriage, but when I go on holiday, or it's Christmas or Easter or whatever, I'm just gonna, have my way. None of us would do that. None of us would dishonor our spouse and dishonor our commitment to that relationship. Yet, we enter into our health journey completely opposed to that thought. And what I mean by this is, we've talked about in this group, Alana has shared with us treats that are not cheats, being in that positive mindset, having things that we really enjoy, all good, right? But my guess is that you, like me, have a trigger food, have something where you might say, I'm just gonna have a piece, I'm just gonna have a taste, I'm just gonna have a bite. Mine is blue corn chips, and all of a sudden, I've had half the bag, or I've had a giant bowl, or it is like completely disavowing my commitment to the plan. It's not healthy. And from a mindset perspective, it's totally unhealthy, right? If you think about your trigger food in the term that we just said about your marriage or your relationship, you wouldn't go out and cheat every Tuesday. You wouldn't say, I'm just gonna have a bite, a taste, a lick of some other dude. You're not gonna do that with your trigger food. So I want you to consider this analogy, and I want you to consider the things that are tripping you up, the things that have become an obstacle to you, the things, and it could be some mindset stuff, right? So maybe it's a mindset thing that you're telling yourself on a daily basis, I'm fat, or I'm fill in the blank, right? That's dishonoring yourself too. That's cheating on this commitment that we've made to ourselves to change our mindset, to surrender some things, to have a higher way of thinking. I want you to consider eliminating those triggers completely. And if that sounds like, oh my gosh, I could never live without corn chips, then you really do need to eliminate it completely. Think about that commitment to your long-term health. For some of you, it's ice cream. I want you to consider not having ice cream for a while, for a good long while. And if you can't imagine your life without that fill-in-the-blank food, then you and I have some work to do, or you and your coach have some work to do. This is about living in optimal health and not being in bondage to food. So whereas I love 2B Mindset because there aren't a ton of food rules, we get to learn what works well for our body, we get to learn what works well for our mindset, and we stay committed in this group and accountable. But if you're in a place where you're starting to see the same thing on your tracker and you're starting to see the scale not move or the scale go up, or for you to be telling yourself a certain something about your body, maybe it's time to make those vows again. Renew your commitment to yourself. Think more highly of yourself and separate yourself from whatever that trigger food is. So no more bites, licks, and tastes. No more Tuesday night sneaking out of the house to get X, Y, and Z food. I'm trying to make these like, cheating on your spouse analogies. No more meeting on holiday and indulging with that, okay? It doesn't serve you. And when you start to think of it like that, it becomes easy to say, you know what, I really don't need that anymore. It's not productive. It's not making me feel my best. We can live without that. So I'd love to hear from you. Did this analogy make any sense? How did it sit with you? Is that something that is a trigger to you? Is there something, a food item that you're like, you know what, you're right, Steph. I can't have chocolate anymore, or I can't have, taquitos anymore. Whatever it is for you, it's going to be different for all of us. But let's talk about that, because the only way to heal those things is to get them out in the open, and you can do this.